back to another episode of After the Bell. Today with us, we have a very special guest, Professor Sai Teja Dharlapudi. Should we start with a brief introduction, sir?
Thank you for having me. This is actually very surreal to be here after being a student of the same college just 2 years ago. So I had done my bachelor's here, BSc Applied Statistics and Analytics, and after that I had directly pursued my master's, and now I'm back here teaching after my master's.
So, sir, you have walked these same corridors as a student. Now you're back here as a professor. How does it feel to be on the other side of the desk?
As I've said, it's honestly very surreal to be on the other side of the desk. It's the exact same classroom that I studied in, and now I'm on the other side teaching the next batches. And honestly speaking, in the start, it was very much, it was a very confusing time for me. It was very, it took me some time to get adjusted to it. But then the thing is, I've always been interested in teaching. This has always been a passion, something teaching something to someone and then watching their eyes light up in understanding was something that was something that gives me a lot of happiness. So it took me not too long to get adjusted to it, but honestly speaking, I'm still adjusting to it.
So, sir, what would be one college memory that brings a smile to your face?
Honestly, college as a whole, the whole day of college, coming to college with your friends and sitting in classes and spending the whole day together, and then afterwards going back home and also spending some more time together with the friends. Because college life is something that will never come back, right? Now I've finished masters also, and I have 2 segments of college at this point. And the whole package is something that brings a smile to me every time I think about it. And every time me and my friends also reminisce about the same thing, we keep smiling about these things.
So many students feel the need to have like a clear path early in their academic journey. So were your life goals aligned or did they change over the period?
So the only idea that I had in my mind was that I need to pursue masters, right? So my thirst for knowledge is pretty high. I like learning new things. I like reading new things. I always like trying out new things. I'm always open to trying new things. So I knew that I had to do masters, which was something that has been in my mind ever since I joined bachelor's, right? So that was the only thing I had in mind. After masters, whatever had happened was something that I had adapted as the time went on. So I didn't really have a clear plan on where I would end up. Like, let's say at the end of my bachelor's, if you told me that 2 years later you would end up as a professor in the same college, I wouldn't believe you. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal if your whole life is not planned out. If you don't plan out your whole life right now, it's okay.
So, sir, a lot of students have this doubt ki whether they should straight on enter into masters or like enter the industry first. So what inspired you to go into your masters before entering the industry?
Yeah, so I had, as I've said, I had no interest in entering the industry. I've always wanted to study further from the start. I had made sure, like, I had kept it in my mind that I will pursue masters right after my bachelor's. So I entered directly into the masters right after my bachelor's. But there are people that I know who have done their MBA after working for 1 or 2 years, and those people are also just as in the same position or even more successful than I am. So the thing is, it all depends on your interest. So if you are interested in, if you feel like you still have that thirst for knowledge, if you feel like you can still study more, then you should go ahead and study further. But if you feel like you want to break, then working would be the best choice.
So, sir, looking back at your journey, was there a point where you felt a little confusion and that turned out to be the most pivotal part of your career? And how would you inspire students or give us a note on that?
Yeah, so looking back, right after, so the way NMIMS, I had done my master's in NMIMS Bombay. And the way NMIMS Mumbai, the master's work was, it was the first 3 semesters was studies and the 4th semester was an industry internship. And you could either do an industry internship or you could do a project. So the thing was, I was essentially very confused whether I should do a project or do an industry internship. But I had realized that 6 months of doing an industry internship would give me more of an idea of how the industry would work. If it's a short term internship, let's say 1 or 2 months, then you wouldn't know much of the ins and outs of how a company works or how an industry works, right? And my internship was for 6 months in a market research company. And staying in that company, working for 6 months, made me realize that the corporate life is not for me. So if I had never tried that out, then I wouldn't have realized that okay, that might not be for me. This might be more of my pace.
So, sir, how important would you say mentors played a role in shaping your career, and do you still connect with them the same way?
Yeah, I'm still in touch with my school teachers. They've encouraged me, especially my math teacher. She was always very supportive of me. She is one teacher that I'm still in touch with. I'm also in touch with my computer science teacher from school. I'm also in touch with Preeti ma'am from here itself. She's been a huge role model for me. And coming to masters, I am in touch with a professor called Rajesh Maurya, and he has also inspired me to take the teaching route. I think mostly because of him teaching us in third sem itself was, I think I've modeled my teaching style also on him. So I've looked at him and I've taken the best parts of him uh, and try to do it my own way, right? So role models are a pivotal part of anyone's life. Everyone needs to have someone they can look up to so that they can pick the best parts that or pick the parts that they feel that they need to improve themselves from the person that you have as your role model, right? So they are very important.
So, sir, during your time at Somasa, you were a part of a lot of clubs and committees. So, what do you think were the key skills that you gained and how they helped you in life?
I mean, I think the biggest skill has to be networking, right? So I was till I joined my bachelor's, I was a very introverted child. I used to mostly just sit in my own corner and read a lot of books, which I still do, but I don't sit in a corner anymore. But then the thing is, it helped me grow out of my shell as an introvert. I've started talking to more people. I've met so many new people. I've had so many new experience. If I had never met the people that I met through clubs, then I wouldn't have made so many friends, right? And so many people to keep in touch with, so many people to know what they're doing in life and to see if they have any opportunities that will be useful for me. And yeah, it all boils down to networking. I was forced to come out of my shell because I had to talk to so many people when I was a part of the club. So it had helped me grow as a person most in that sense.
So, if I hand you a fun data set like a Spotify playlist or someone's Google history, what would be the first thing that you would analyze or look into?
Uh, Honestly, it would be their interest, right? So all of the social media companies now, Instagram, Facebook, any social media company that has a short video format like reels or YouTube shorts or Facebook's reels, right? All of those are based on your interest itself. So the first thing that I do is check the person's interest, the top 5 interests or their top 10 interests, to see what they're interested in and what type of a person they are. So that would be my first step that I would take in that data set.
So, as you have been a student of NMIMS, we are right now juggling up our private lives and academics, clubs, committees, internships, everything together. So, one tip that you would give us to not get burned out while doing that?
Uh, the biggest thing I tell myself is that it's okay to fail. You will not succeed in every part of your life at all times. You will fail at some part, you will succeed at some part. Let's say sometimes I am very passionate about working out and I love going to the gym. But sometimes the thing is, I have so much work that I cannot go to the gym. So back in the day when that used to happen, I used to hate myself. I used to be like, why wouldn't you go to the gym? Like, why are you so lazy? I used to have these negative thoughts come in my head saying, I'm so lazy. I don't do this. I don't do that. But the thing is, as I've gotten older, I've realized that I can't do everything all at once. Whenever it's possible, you should do it. You should stop holding yourself to such high standards, and it's okay to fail. That's one thing that you have to remember. It's okay to fail. You can always restart.
Okay, so there is one college memory that you would want to relive.
Honestly, just sitting in the classrooms again. Just a whole day of college. Just one day of college is I would do anything to sit back in those classrooms and listen to those lectures. Honestly, with my friends, that is the biggest thing.
So what is the biggest myth that you heard about success being a student that you oppose completely?
Uh, the biggest myth about success would be that you need to succeed at like a certain age. You need to, by this age you need to do this, by this age you need to do this, by this age you need to do this. Like I've I've seen the rat race in my masters where people were running towards internships right after their first year for summer internships, and people had done summer internships, people had done their winter internships, and they are still not placed. So the thing is, the biggest myth is that there is no age for success. You can succeed at any time. It doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. But the only thing is you should never stop trying. That's it.
So when you transformed from a student to a professional and then a teacher, so what was one difficulty that you faced and how did you overcome it?
The one thing people don't realize when it comes to teaching, when I transition from student to a working professional, honestly the fast-paced environment of corporate was something that stuck to me, right? The problem I had with corporate was that I couldn't sit and work for so many hours. I couldn't sit in the same spot. Even if I had no work, I had to act like I was working, right? That's actually something that happens. So that one thing was, from student to corporate, I had a really good time working on many different things all at once. It kept me engaged non-stop. But the drawback was that I had to sit there for so many hours. Now, when I switched from working professional to professor, what happened was, here the working hours are so much more flexible. I only have to come to college 4 times a week. But then the problem is, so the thing is, revise whatever topic I need to teach at home once, and I have to teach 3 different batches. And I have to make sure that there's consistency across all 3 different batches. So it gets monotonous. So it's the same thing that I have to repeat 4 different times. Once I have to revise for myself, and I have to do it for 3 different batches. So I mean, every position, every job, every single any area, any expertise, they all have their own advantages and they all have their own disadvantages. You just have to pick the one where you are willing to bear the disadvantages. That's it.
So one word that you will say to your old self.
Patience.
And 3 words for us.
3 words. Never give up, honestly. I would say never give up. That's one thing. You should always keep trying. You should never give up. Even if you fail, it's okay. You can always restart. It's not the end of the world. It is never, you can never fail so hard that you can never come back again. It's never the end of the world. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're alive, you can always do something.
Thank you so much for being here with us. We end on this note.